Knitworthy, sharing about the fiber art from the heart of the Ozarks.
Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the Knitworthy Podcast. And I'm Brianne, also known as Being Brianne on Ravelry.
And my name's Linda. I'm Brianne's mom.
Yes.
Also known as Mom at Home.
Yes, you can call her mom if you want to.
And I'm Stony Brook on Ravelry and on Instagram.
Yeah. And we are podcasting today from the beautiful Ozarks in Missouri. And welcome to our home. Welcome to our podcast. And hopefully this will be a good one. Yay! Yes! So let's see. This is going to be a podcast about knitting and spinning and crocheting and cross stitch and a million things. So not just knitting, lots of things.
We'll call it fiber arts. How about that?
That's a great idea. Yes.
We're artists.
That's right. But you know what we should talk about is how we got our name.
Well, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, the podcast was on my bucket list.
Yes.
That's why we're doing it. I had thought, life is getting on. I'm getting older, and it's time to do those things that maybe at one point you thought, wouldn't it be fun someday too? Mm-hmm. And we only are given so many some days. So I had told Brianne that I was interested in doing a podcast and wondered if she would do it with me.
And I said, no, I hate podcasts. Don't make me do it.
She actually introduced me to podcasts.
I did.
I didn't know anything about them until she turned me on to the wonderful world of podcasting.
Yes.
And so we spent a lot of time getting stuff together and researching, and so we decided to venture out and see if we could find an audience for the things that we love to do, to talk about them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the way we got our name is, in the knitting world, there's a term called knitworthy. And sometimes people are knitworthy. They love your knitting. They appreciate your knitting. They cherish the fact that you have done this act of love and kindness and generosity for them. And sometimes people are not so knitworthy.
It's true.
They don't appreciate the fact that you've just spent, 25, 30 hours knitting them a pair of socks, or, the amount of time and love that goes into a knitted gift. And so those people are not so knitworthy.
And it's not that they're not wonderful people.
No, not at all.
It's just that they will not appreciate the effort that goes into creating something special for them.
Absolutely.
Brianne.
Yes.
You thought I was knitworthy.
I did. I always think you're knitworthy. That's the Holden shawlette that I made for Mom.
Yes.
For Mother's Day. I think it was last year I gave it to you. I can't entirely remember, but
I love it. I wear it a lot.
Mm-hmm, you do.
And really, knitted gifts, my favorite thing to get from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Love it.
So we decided that we loved knitworthy because we think that you are knitworthy.
Totally.
You are worthy of awesome things.
Yes. And, so many times we want to knit for others also.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's good. It's good to share your love that way with someone, but also that it's important to remember that you're knitworthy too.
Absolutely.
And to make sure that you're taking time to do projects for yourself and to think about as a nurturing activity also. And
definitely.
I knit because it is relaxing to me, and I love feeling the fiber, and I love seeing the stitches come together, and I love being able to use something that I've worked on or something that somebody's made me.
Yeah.
So why do you knit?
For all of those reasons, but also I use it as a calming thing. It's to, help with anxiety and, frustration. And, it's really a really fantastic coping mechanism.
It is.
In fact, I was taking my son to get lab work done this Monday. Anyways, we go on Mondays. And I had my knitting along, and this woman came up and said, I think it's wonderful that you're knitting. I just could never have the patience for that. And I said, this is how I make the waiting for an hour more tolerable. This is how I'm getting through it. And, she goes, well, I just don't think I could ever give up reading. And I said, I listen to audiobooks while I knit. And so I don't have to give up anything, to knit. But so anyways, so this is my coping mechanism, because otherwise I would be strangling people at the lab place, because
That's
it's
not good.
No.
You get jail time for that stuff.
You do. And I'm too pretty to be in jail.
Now, are you one of those people that focuses better when you have something in your hands
I do.
that's repetitive?
I do, yeah. And it just, I really, places that I've worked, I've asked permission to be able to knit while I was on the job, for different, things. And so, I've never had a place say, no, you absolutely may not knit. So it just helps to keep me centered, and it helps to me to focus on things. And, otherwise I don't know what to do with myself.
Hey, have you seen that Heather Ordover from, I forgot her podcast already. She does the books. Craftlit, yeah. She started a website that is kind of going through the process of explaining and giving information about the process of using knitting as a way of focusing.
I had no clue.
Not just knitting, but because I got her newsletter the other day.
Uh-huh.
And it's something, she has a name for it. Check out Heather Ordover. She has a Ravelry group, Craftlit, but, and I would give you her website, but I can't remember.
No, she does have a really awesome podcast too.
Yeah.
And so, give her a listen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't heard of that. I'll have to go and take a look at it.
And I think the whole point is giving people a resource so that if they are trying to make the case for being able to use like knitting or something to help them focus during meetings or whatever, that there's the research in a non-clinical way to back up.
Brilliant.
Yeah, is that a great idea?
Yes. Yeah. Well, Mom has had a very busy week this week. And one thing you should know about us that makes us awfully cool is that we live together. We do. My parents and my youngest brother, they live on the main floor of the house. And then my husband and I and our 3 kids, who are ages 10, 6, and 4, we live in the downstairs. It's technically a basement. It's too pretty to be called a basement. It's kind of like how when women sweat, we're glistening, glowing. That the downstairs is too pretty to be called a basement. You're too pretty to say that, you're sweating.
Yeah.
We call it glistening. The basement, really too pretty to be called a basement. So we could just call it the downstairs. So that's one really cool thing about our family is that we cohabitate.
Yes. We're actually in the middle of trying to sell our house.
We are.
And I'm trying to convince them to continue the setup. It started out as a way of supporting one another through going through a health issue that my grandson and her son Owen has. And some of you may have followed us on Facebook during the big chunk of his treatment for cancer. He's getting on the last few months of it now, so we are so happy about that. But it became much easier to be a support to one another in getting through that and all the trips back and forth to St. Louis to live together during that time. And so it has really, it's been, how long has it been now?
We've lived together, we moved in August of 2012.
Wow.
And so we're coming up on 2 years.
Yeah.
We really thought, first 6 months. And then, we kind of got into treatment and we realized that this was not going to be a 6-month thing. Especially, his treatment is 28 months, and that's a long time to be on treatment for cancer. Yeah. So anyways, we've made it work. And, we discovered that we really love living together as a big family, and we have family dinners every night, and we help each other out with things, and
but it's not like we're all in each other's hair, because it is, we live separately for the most part.
Right.
And just it's just easier when she needs a hand with something or I need a hand with something.
Yeah.
It's a quick text and you run upstairs or downstairs. So
absolutely.
That part works out great. And what is not to love about getting to hang out with the grandkids all the time too?
Yes.
That's pretty fun.
Yes. And I can come upstairs and say, I need help with my knitting. I've got knitting issues.
Yeah, for the most part, I think you mostly offer the help, but thank you for saying that.
Well,
That's
I
awfully
didn't
sweet.
want to say anything, but you're welcome.
But it is it's a people ask about, aren't you looking forward to when they move out? No, not really. I really enjoy having them around, and they're not, it's not a problem at all. They're not difficult to live with at all.
They're fabulous.
And as far as I'm concerned, all the kids can come live at home.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
Heather,
in my
Jared,
perfect world.
Everybody, come on.
My dad used to mention that he wanted to have us all living in the same neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily the same house, but he wanted to live in the same neighborhood. And I was always like, why? And now I'm the one going, how about just a few more months?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a busy week for everybody.
Yes.
Mom, have you had a chance to work on any knitting or crafting?
Nothing. This.
Wow.
It is like the first few inches of a grandma's favorite washcloth. Some bright orange yarn. This is destined to become Heather's. Heather, if you listen to this, I got orange because it's my son-in-law's favorite color. And it was on sale on Amazon, one of my favorite places to shop.
Mm-hmm.
And they had such a good deal. It was like like half price for Lion Brand kitchen cotton.
Awesome.
And so I usually try and keep some washcloth making materials on hand for when I just want mindless.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to the point where I don't just like sitting down and not doing anything.
Me too.
I like to have my hands busy.
Yes.
So it's just...
I agree.
Apparently someone needs me.
It's urgent. Urgent, everybody.
Oopsie.
This is very exciting.
Sorry, Heather. I'll call you later, Heather. Heather.
Oh,
It's
boy.
real life, people.
It is. This is real, y'all.
You know what it is,
Oh.
too? It's FaceTime. She wants to probably chat with my new grandson.
Yes.
Well, he's not so new now.
She
He's going to be a year in
She just
July.
did. She just FaceTimed me too. Sorry, Heather.
Sorry.
I promise I'll call you back.
We'll call you right back.
Yes. Well, Mom's had a very busy week, and she was out of town for part of it. And but I've been home, so I've had some things that I've been working on. The first one is I just started this last night, actually, yesterday, working on it kind of throughout part of the day. And this is the Pillars sock by Lisa Stitchway.
Oh, that's much better to see.
Yeah, isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
And it just has the pillars running down either side on the front.
I love that.
And I think that's going to be really nice. The back is plain. And this is... It's a question she's going to ask a lot. So just be prepared.
I love Brianne's homemade socks.
Yes. And this is in Spring Tree Road, which is the name of the indie yarn dyer, in her muscadine sock. And I think this is the julep colorway. And I bought this off Etsy like 3.5 years ago.
Really?
And yeah, so it's been marinating in my stash for a while. And it's tried to be like 3, 4, 5 different pairs of socks. And just every single sock, I've been like, no, that's not it. It doesn't want to be that sock. And so I did some research on Ravelry and found this pattern in my queue and busted through the leg, and I'm now just turned the heel. So this is a quick pair of socks. I'm really impressed with myself. I'm pretty awesome.
Really pretty.
Thank you very much.
I love the yarn and the pattern.
Yes, I do too. And the yarn is beautiful. It's very soft to work with. It has a nice little kind of bounce to it. And I think it's going to be a really nice pair of socks.
I would say it's tonal.
It is, yeah.
Which I love.
I do too.
I prefer a tonal color over a flat color any day.
I do too, yeah. I mean, it's very beautiful. You kind of see some darker areas like from through here, and then you have, some lighter areas, and see on the back too. I think it makes it more fun to knit with, to kind of see the variation in color.
Very pretty.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I've been working on, here's the bag that I was using for that. It's by A Needle Runs Through It, who's on Etsy. I love Etsy, can you tell? It's true. Yeah, we both love Etsy. We like to find interesting things on Etsy and send them to each other.
That is a fun hobby.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
share with a friend feature that they have, or well, not with a friend, but share.
Yeah.
And usually I try to find random things from time to time.
Sometimes you find some really fun, interesting things.
Yes.
There's lots of things on Etsy, people. This is also another bag from Anita Runs Through It. I think that's really pretty.
Yeah, I love that.
The
Now,
orange,
does she
the
put
teal.
a pattern inside of her bags?
No, just plain, which I kind of like. It makes it easier to see. Sometimes when they're darker colors, it's harder to see what's inside. But I started a hitchhiker, and apparently I'm not the last person in the world to start one because Mom hasn't started one quite yet. And this is Hitchhiker is by Martina Baim, and this is Blue Moon Fiber Arts socks that rock lightweight in the Ooh La Lagoon colorway. And isn't that gorgeous? It's
Pretty.
got a really beautiful, like a teal and a green and a gray. And I bought that from the Loopy U a couple weeks ago, and I fell in love with it. And I said, that's a hitchhiker right there. And so my husband very sweetly helped me wind it up because it was really tangled.
Was it?
So like he spent like 30 minutes with his arms out like this as I tried to.
That's love.
I know. He loves me. As we tried to untangle everything. And I fell in love with the yarn so much that I went back onto the Loopy U and ended up taking their last skein of it in the same
What
colorway.
you're saying is, Nina, you can't have this.
Pretty much until they restock. This is mine.
Okay.
And then I also got another skein in the Smoky Mountain Morn, which is shades of gray and a beautiful purple. And so I'm very excited. I haven't ever really worked with socks that rock before, except for one time. My friend Sarah Kerner, she had a little bit of leftover that she gave me in the medium weight, and I made it into a pair of baby socks for my daughter Ailish. And that was fun to work with, but I haven't really worked on it on a large scale, but this is gorgeous yarn. And can you see the colors? Look at those colors.
Yeah, really pretty.
Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So I'm very excited. And so that's what I've been working on this week. And then I know you don't have any finished objects. Can I show my finished objects?
I'd love to see them.
Okay, I know. Because they're great and you're going to love them. So the first thing is...
She's right.
I knitted a pair of socks. This is one. They're actually the second one. It's right here. I just don't have the second
2
one of these.
feet?
2 feet.
What kind of crazy person are you knitting for?
It's for my best friend Sarah. Different Sarah. And her favorite colors are pink and purple, so she needs some Christmas socks.
Let's go close with that yarn too.
Yeah. This is
Oh
also from the Loopy U, and I'm going to mess up the name, but bear with me. It's Biscotti and CIE is the last word, and it's their Felix self-striping in the Purple Rain colorway. And I wasn't so sure about this when I was first winding up the yarn, because I saw how the colors were coming and I was like, oh, what is this going to look like when it stripes? And I couldn't find any examples of it, so I just had to start cast on and start knitting with it. And I did a ribbed sock the whole way through because she's a little tiny person, and I want to make sure that it had a little bit of grip to it. It wouldn't just slide right off her foot as she's walking. That's not fun.
It's not fun.
No.
Socks going down your shoe. Not fun.
No, it's painful. So, but I really like how it goes from the dark purple to the light purple to the white to the light purple and dark.
Right. Those are really
and then dark pink and light pink and dark pink. And I think it turned out really pretty. And I'd like to try another pair of socks from them eventually. But
stripes are so in right now.
They're
aren't they?
so fun to knit.
I think that stripy socks are my new favorite.
Well, then you will like these socks too. This is the other pair of socks that I finished over the last week and a half. So these are my Hufflepuff socks.
I didn't even know you had sock blockers.
I do.
Where were you stashing them?
Downstairs.
I'm going to have to go when you're asleep at night and start looking through your stuff.
You can feel free, but if you wake up my kids, you're going to have to put them back to sleep.
Do you actually use them for your socks?
I use them for taking pictures, but I don't actually block socks on them really. So my husband and I have a love of Harry Potter, and we now own all of the movies on DVD and Blu-ray and iTunes because we love them. We want to be able to watch them in any way possible.
Wow.
Yeah, we
That's
own
a
all
lot
the
of
books.
love.
It's a lot of love. Oh my gosh, we just finished watching the series again last night. So, anyways.
Did you really?
We did. Yeah. My mom's not a Harry Potter person, but that's okay. That's all right. I love her anyways.
I haven't seen it, so it's not like I'm going from experience.
But I got sorted into the Hufflepuff house on Pottermore, which is their role-playing game online. And I went specifically just so I could figure out what house I was in. I really don't have any interest in doing the role-playing game. I say that now, but who knows?
I'm going to go look in your closet. You must have a costume down there, don't you?
I don't.
It's just going to be Comic-Con now,
yes.
isn't it?
I would love that. I could wear my Hufflepuff
Harry
socks.
Potter. What would they? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they have that?
I don't know. We'll find out though. But yeah, so anyways, these are exactly alike. They're just complete opposites of each other. So they're not actually exactly alike. I shouldn't say exactly alike.
They're exactly, except for they're completely different.
Yes, that too. If I could do these over, then I would do a solid toe. I won't use that finger to point. I would use a solid toe.
Your mother taught you better than that.
She did. I would do a solid yellow toe on this one and a solid black toe on this one. But by the time I decided what I wanted to do exactly about the heels and the cuffs and everything, I was already up to here on the first one and I was not ripping out. This is in the Loopy Use Solid Series yarn, and it's a great yarn and it's very reasonably priced. I was knitting on size zeros and it was hurting my wrist a little bit just because I was knitting pretty tightly. So that's the only thing that I did not care for about these socks. I've used it.
I would say that with this yarn on the needles that you did it on, this is a very firm sock.
It is a very firm sock.
And I would say it's a little bit not crispy, but it's not soft.
No. I mean, I wouldn't
I don't think it would hurt your feet. I'm not saying that.
No. I just wouldn't make a bra out of it or anything. Just in case you're wondering, don't make a bra out of this. But I made a shawl for Mom out of it.
Yeah,
the traveling companion shawl.
Yeah.
Out of 3 colors of it, and it turned out great.
Yeah,
but I was knitting on
fabulous,
size 6. Yeah, I was knitting on size 6. So different gauge. Gauge is really important, of course. So, so I finished these, and I'm so excited to wear them.
And how long did that take you?
I don't know, maybe 2.5 weeks. But I was knitting on other things at the same time. So because it was hurting my wrist, I didn't knit on them continuously, monogamously. So I was knitting on other things too to give my wrist a break.
Now, what's the fastest you ever knit a pair of socks?
3 days. But I didn't do much else. I was kind of
marathon knitting.
Pretty much it was on a 4th of July weekend.
Oh.
And we only had, I had 2 kids. Did I? I don't know. Anyways, I had less kids than I have now.
You have dozens.
I have billions of children. No, I don't. I have 3, but my kids are work. I mean, not that kids aren't work.
They are perfect, adorable
angels.
They
are adorable angels. But, my kids are very active and they, need a lot of refereeing at times. And so, I can't knit a pair of socks in 3 days anymore. But that's okay, because I love my kids and they're worth it.
They are so worth it.
So you've had a busy week. You weren't knitting, but you were doing other stuff. So talk about what you were doing this week.
Okay. That sounds like a great idea.
Yes.
So here's the deal. I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I had a goal this year that I wanted to improve my spinning skills. And it's another thing that I wanted to add to my knowledge in how to dye, how to spin better, how to process from sheep to finished object. And so I had been pursuing that some last year. I had purchased some fleeces, bits of fleeces that I was learning how to clean them and pick them and all that. I felt like I was really lacking in how to recognize the good parts of the fleece and the not so good. I mean, if it has poop on it, I know don't use that, okay? So I didn't need that kind of like really obvious help.
That's like common sense, right?
It's
there.
common sense. Yeah.
So you had the common sense part.
I did.
Down.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I had on a recent trip that we had taken, actually, this was a while back, my first trip to see my local alpaca farmer. It was an emergency run because we'd had a really stressful time at the hospital with my grandson Owen, and I wanted to do something fun on the way home because it seemed like everything was not fun.
We always have these plans, you know, because St. Louis is a big city and they have tons of amazing things to do there.
They do.
And we're like, this will be great. You know, every time we go, we'll just do something fun while we're there.
It's like the spoonful of sugar that makes things easier.
But by the time we're done with getting chemo and stuff, like everybody's exhausted. Nobody wants to do anything.
It's
Please
stressful.
just let us go home.
Yeah.
Because it's like a 4.5 hour drive
Totally.
each way.
Yeah.
So we never end up doing anything fun. And we said, we need to do something fun. And so Mom contacted Liz and said, can we come over and see your alpaca farm?
And she said yes, can you believe it? It's Liz Mitchko from Whirlwind.
It's because she didn't know that we're lazy.
We never go away. We're like glue. You and us, super glue. So we stopped at Whirlwind Ranch on the way home. And I'm telling you, so fun. It was so refreshing to me because she has all these adorable alpacas and they have the big old eyes and the cute little, what do we call this, like a pompadour thing, kind of like 80s hair where you did your bangs straight up, the higher the better. Little alpacas have that. It's so cute.
No hairspray necessary.
No. And she has Great Pyrenees dogs, and they guard the flocks, and they are so sweet.
They are. And you know, once they were told that we weren't like coming to steal all the alpacas, they were so sweet.
Yeah.
And you know, Owen was a little bit leery at first just because they're massive dogs. They're huge. But they were so friendly and, you know, loved being petted and played with.
They did. They were very sweet.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't even remember, I think I got some roving when I was there.
Yes.
And I just fell in love with alpaca fiber. It is super, super soft and so much fun. So along the way, I had made other visits to Whirlwind Ranch, and I picked up some raw fiber. And as I was going through the fiber, I'm realizing, and also this applies to the fleeces that I got, to their wool. You really need to know a little bit about the fiber in order to sort it properly and to understand what makes a good fleece. Okay, so like in the world of cooking.
Yes.
You know, you're going to, you have to use good ingredients to get a good recipe, right?
Right.
You don't want to use stale ingredients because you're not going to have a good result.
Yes.
So it works the same way in the world of fiber. You have to start with a good fleece, and then you have to treat it right. You can ruin a fleece easily in processing by just treating it too harshly or combining it with the really fine parts with the really nasty parts. And actually, alpacas aside, I mean, she even sells their poop.
She does everything with their
every
part of them.
It's like people, when I was there, I arranged to go take a class this week from her. She invited me to even spend the night with her. She's so sweet. So I could get a really super long class. So I drove there, and while I was there, I think there were 2 different people who came with trucks and bought the poop.
Wow.
I thought, we are missing something here. We have a lot of poop at our house. If only we could make it pay. Just saying.
No,
Little kids and people. There's like 8 people living here.
Yeah, but I don't think that you can really do a whole lot with, like,
Human poop?
yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't really want to try and find out. But wouldn't it be amazing if you could make your whole life that fruitful? You're not with me in this, are you?
No.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to bowel movements.
Okay, well, moving past the poop.
Yes.
Okay, but
Let's.
hey, if you need something for your garden, it's really good and it doesn't stink like steer manure and stuff. So, hey, visit your local alpaca farmer, pick up some fleece, roving, and some alpaca poop while you're at it. Okay. So anyway, Liz was gracious enough to teach me how to properly sort a fleece. And I have to say, I came home with some of the results of my labor, but also I came home with some stuff to practice.
She didn't come home with poop, though.
No, I did. You know, she has one. Can I just finish one more thing on the poop thing? Because it really was
Sure.
amazing to me. Seriously, you can get money for this. So they have like little tea bags that they do that have the poop in them.
Okay.
And so then you like, it's a great idea.
Okay.
You would like steep it in water, and then that's what you would water like your houseplants with.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't really want to put the poop in your houseplants, but
No. Yeah.
but you know what? I would like to have a disclaimer: do not put that tea bag in your cabinet, your beverage cabinet, because that would be a really bad surprise.
It would be.
Yeah.
That's really, wow.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yes.
So in adding to my other bucket list thing of learning more about fiber, what I learned was if this is the back of the alpaca right here,
Yes.
okay, the alpaca cushes. See, I learned things.
Cush.
They lay down. They cush. They go straight down, kind of like, well, I think they're in the camel family, and Liz would know the name. It's probably written
Excuse
down
me.
somewhere in all my notes, but is it camelid? Does that sound right?
Sure.
So the stuff that's been on the ground, you know, that's the stuff that's going to be harsher and coarser.
Yeah.
It's to give them more padding, so when they sleep, you know, they have a little bit of cushy for their body. And so that's the stuff that's less usable. So that stuff she recycles, and that goes into, it's not like it's not ruined, but it's just not as nice as the rest of the wool. So that stuff gets made into rug yarn and bird balls, little balls for the birds to make nests with. You know, it's like stuff with fiber. And then she has all sorts of really cool alpaca products that you remember seeing in her store. She has sweaters and socks and gloves and stuff.
And decorations.
She doesn't have to make all that because she doesn't have time. She's a farmer.
No, goodness.
So she they send off packages of wool that get made into these other items that she sells. And so the really nice wool, then there's certain wool that's a little bit too long for the factories. That is hand spinner wool, because hand spinners, we love our long wool. So there's some. This bag here.
Yeah.
Forget this one's name. Romeo. Romeo has nice long locks, and Romeo is a baby, so he's going to take some work. He's got some bits of hay. When you get a fleece from a farmer, and you can do this on Facebook, they have raw fleece groups and different. Start looking up in the searches. You can look up fleece or sheep or wool or those things, and you'll see different groups.
Yeah.
Or ask one of your friends who maybe is in there. They can suggest different groups for you, but you're going to get it, and they're going to have bits and pieces of, you're not going to see it. That's a bit of hay. I would always recommend getting a skirted fleece. Skirted means that it's been sorted of things that are really glaring issues, like poop. You know, if it's good. They are really clean animals, though. Can I go back? It's just like a poop episode.
I was just going to say.
Okay. But this is really amazing. Do you know that they go like, they can clear their own body. They go out the back. So it's like way behind them.
Great.
So they don't have to worry about it getting all over their wool. That's really handy. God was smart.
That is handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's, in the fleeces, you shouldn't, if you get a skirted fleece, it shouldn't have big sticks. I mean, they are animals, they live outside.
Right.
And unless they're coated, which means they actually wear clothes. They wear like a canvasy kind of a jacket.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's going to keep them from getting stuff in there, because they like to roll in the dirt.
Yeah.
And they have bedding that's hay. They eat hay.
Right.
The pellets and stuff aren't going to get in there. And I think they're out there grazing on weeds and stuff in the field, and so they'll get little burrs in their coats and stuff. So you're going to pay more. The cleaner the fleece, the more you're going to pay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this little guy, I think this was his baby fleece, but he's so worth it. Now, see, when I just pulled this little bit out, and Liz, she's going to know I did that the wrong way, because I'm supposed to pull it differently so I don't create a poof ball like this. She taught me, and I didn't do it right. But this one, as I just pulled out, has a little bit of a seed pod on it, and there's a little piece of hay down here. But look at how nice and long that lock is.
That is long.
And that is going to be beautiful for spinning. You have to touch.
That is very soft.
Yeah, I mean, like, what would you equate that to? Something else that you might have felt that's that soft. Feels like a cloud.
I never touched a cloud, but if I could, that's what it would feel like.
Totally. And so the longer fleeces, she will do as hand spinners.
You know what that feels like? That feels like newborn baby fuzz on the top of their head.
Yes, it really does.
So soft.
That hair and skin that has never seen the light of day.
Yes.
That kind of softness. So this is going to just become something wonderful. And so in that class, I learned that the fiber that's on the back area, that is most likely to be the softest kind of the fur. The stuff that's on the chest, the sternum area, and that's underneath, and the neck also is not as nice. It's still usable and still, relatively speaking, soft, but just not as soft as little baby bottom soft. So I'm going to be I decided on this one, I'm going to be learning how to process lock by lock. And what people do when they really like, people usually do it because they want to maintain lock structure, but I just want to learn how to do it. You take it lock by lock, and then you use these little combs that you would use for like a cat or a dog, a little tiny, like a slicker brush, and you comb out one end and turn around and comb out the other, and then you just keep the locks going the same direction. And that's how I'm going to get rid of all of the
veg matter.
Vegetable matter. Otherwise, you just spend a lot of time picking it out. Now, there is a picker that has big old tines that are sharpened that will open the fleece up, and it allows a lot of it to fall out. I don't have one of those. And I don't know, if this is such a soft fleece, I just don't know that you'd want to be that rough with it.
Yeah.
But I love touching fiber, so I'm going to have no problem touching this super soft stuff and getting the...
Sounds like a little bit of heaven.
Yeah, and I think I'm just going to process it a little bit at a time. So the plan is, here's the method that I'm going to use. I already talked about it with Liz. It has the farmer approval.
All right.
So it's going to be laid out, and I'm going to take sections at a time that are probably about this big, because I think that's about all I can handle, and I'll get those all flicked out. But first I almost forgot the first step.
Yes.
And this one has some of the wool is straighter and some is crimpier. The straighter wool almost has an appearance of silk to me. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm going to group that wool separately, and I'm going to use that in bats.
That's a good idea.
I think it'd be a really beautiful shiny add-in. And then the other wool I'm going to process separately, and then this is going to be, I think I'm going to dye this.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So this is, what did I say? Romeo. And the second one is, this is a short staple. It actually is, and I didn't tie it your way, Liz. I'm sorry, I should have. She has a really great way of tying that makes it really easy to untie. But I got distracted and did the old-fashioned way. But I just wanted to show you the difference. So this is a fawn-colored alpaca, and you can see it has this dark chestnutty color. and this lighter color all on the same one.
It's so pretty.
There's so many different colors of grays and blacks and whites and this fawn color. So it would be really pretty to do a project, and I'm thinking that I'd like to do a project that kind of explores the different natural colors too. But I don't know what I'll do first, because really what I wanted to, I've done some natural projects, but the other thing that was on my bucket list for this year of things I wanted to do, which was dyeing.
Yeah.
And so earlier this year, I was such a brave girl. I traveled, on an airplane by myself.
What?
I know. And I went and I visited a friend that I met on Facebook, and she's super nice. Her name's Peggy and Jeff, and she is a fiber artist from Colorado, and she is an excellent dyer. Oh my goodness.
What is the name of her business?
Oh yes, thank you.
Yes.
The 100th sheep. You know, that is a reference to the scripture that talks about that God loves us so much that even if he has 99 sheep and one is lost, that he will come and try and find you.
Yes.
Try and bring you back to safety. And so I love that. But that's the name of her business. And she offered to teach me her dyeing. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
What a treasure that was. And I got to spend almost a week there. Maybe it was a week.
It was a week.
And we just explored dyeing from beginning to end. And I got to watch her work. I got to work alongside her, and I got to try on my own.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So neat.
And so that was super fun. And she is definitely one. Liz Mitchko from Whirlwind Ranch, which is the alpaca farmer. She teaches classes on lots of different subjects, but definitely take classes from her. She goes out to the East Coast even. And so if you're in Missouri, we have several events that Liz Mitchko is at. That would be Fiber Days, which is in September. We have Fiber U, what month was that?
I don't remember.
That's July, I think. And then Fiber Retreat is March. I think that was it.
I think so.
So we have 3 events that you can visit if you're in the Missouri area. Otherwise, you connect with the guild, or you look on Facebook or Ravelry, start talking to people, and they'll tell you the events that are in your area. We haven't, Bree and I both, we haven't been able to venture to big events.
Like Stitches or Rhinebeck, or, I mean, that's another bucket list thing for sure.
Definitely, yeah. So you know what, if you guys don't feel any pressure, but if you watch, stick with us for a little while. They don't give us permission to go to these places.
That's right.
Because we'll be doing it for you.
Absolutely. You want us to do it, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you?
You want us to do it.
Oh, it's Jedi mind tricks. How fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, little Jedi.
Yeah.
They do it. But I'll have to learn. So anyway, definitely get connected with, go on Ravelry, start talking to people. I really have found so many great connections with people who love doing the same thing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, like
They understand you, don't they?
They are my people.
Yes.
It is so fun because when I tell my husband about these things I'm doing, he's going, "You really like that?" I don't know how many times he's asked me, "Do you like doing that?" And I'm like, "Yes, honey. That's why I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Every chance I get."
Yeah.
So connect with people, find your people
Yes.
who love doing what you do. And fiber people are really generous with learning. And so make sure if you've had the benefit of learning from someone that you pass that along.
You know, I think the reason why, you know, we want other people to know and to understand and to love what we love.
We do, yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
I mean, it's like, you know, my husband just started a new job, and he's a bank manager now, which he's never done this profession before. And, you know, he's telling me all about, you know, the machinery, like the money counters and, you know, all this stuff. And he's so excited about it because it's new and he's learning it, and it's just awesome. And, you know, he's telling me all about it. And I'm like, that's great. Yes. Oh, that's how neat, you know. And he's wanting to share his love
Yeah.
of what he's learning with me. And I think it's the same thing with, when we learn and are in love with a hobby, a craft, whatever it is. Our neighbor's son, he loves racing cars. And so, that's what he wants to talk about. He wants to give us the knowledge of, we're learning about drifting now. And
Yes.
that's one of his favorite things. And so, it's that same thing. I think it's not just fiber people, it's people who are passionate about anything.
That's true.
They want to pass that along.
And I think to network yourself with other like-minded people is just very invigorating.
It is.
And if you have a small pool of friendship, which I would say I'm in that category, my husband makes a friend everywhere he goes. My pool of friendship is smaller. And so it's wonderful if you are one of those like I am who maybe has a difficult time going, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
When you're around like-minded people, it's not hard to think of things to talk about.
Yeah. Even if it's just poop.
Poop, see? Anything could be a subject matter. So I wanted to make sure I give a good plug for my friend Peggy that I went out to visit for the dyeing. She attends shows all over.
She's been in Missouri.
She did, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's taught in Missouri. That's where I took my first class from her. But she also, she teaches at Estes Park and some of these big fiber festivals that are in and around the Colorado and surrounding states areas. And so you can take a class from her if you're in that area, and I really recommend it because she's such a good heart. And she's really knowledgeable, and no question is a stupid question. Who wants to take a class from somebody who's going to make you feel foolish for asking the questions that you really have? So please make sure that you check her out if you're able to take a class from her, and she has an online business also. And her dyed fiber is beautiful, and she has a great sense of color. And so I learned so much from her. And one of the things that
And we would just like to remind you that you are knitworthy.
Knitworthy,
Bye.
sharing about the fiber art from the heart of the Ozarks.